For over 25 years, nonprofit work has been near and dear to Rosa Magnus. After starting her nonprofit journey in her home state of Texas, Rosa eventually found her way north to Wisconsin, and last year she became the new CEO of the River Falls Chamber of Commerce and Tourism Bureau. Rosa joins this special episode of the Kinni Cast to share more about why nonprofits are important to her, discusses the impact the Chamber has on more than 300 member businesses, and takes us behind the scenes of what it's like to plan for a big event like the upcoming River Falls Days. Hi everybody, welcome back to a new episode of the Kinni Cast. My name is Tyler Mason. I'm the communications coordinator for the City of River Falls. And on today's episode, we're bringing in another one of our partners, as we do every once in a while here on the podcast. I'm excited to be joined today by Rosa Magnus. Rosa is the CEO of the River Falls Chamber of Commerce and Tourism Bureau. We're going to talk about the Chamber and the great work that they do here in town. Their ties to the city as well. But we'll get to know Rosa a little bit on this episode. Rosa, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Tyler. Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. Well, let's jump into your background a little bit before we get to how you got to the Chamber and the work that you do at the Chamber. We were just talking before we started here about your career. You spent most of your career working for nonprofits, I think over 25 years now in the nonprofit world. What is it about the nonprofit world that you enjoyed most throughout your career?
Well, the thing that I enjoy and appreciate about nonprofit work is that it truly is service to others. And that's always been a goal of mine professionally and personally throughout my career. And I just really enjoy being able to see what comes out of it. You know, that the outcomes of good work provide for others. And so that's my ultimate goal in life. And I just love the nonprofit ethics and logic of that work and that sector.
Was that something you set out to do kind of at the beginning of your career, was to go into that? Or is it just kind of your journey has kind of led you that way and you've just enjoyed it and stayed in that path?
Yeah, so I actually am from Texas.
Okay.
And I went to University of Texas at San Antonio. Go Roadrunners. But with that, after a year of travel for an organization that we were putting on events for kids, and it was a nonprofit organization as well, I really got to see how community works together. And I just thought that was the coolest thing, to see volunteers coming together with an organization that was bringing an event for the betterment of the community, and raising funds too. And so that was just a really wonderful effort to see come together. And so when I got back to San Antonio and decided, okay, I kind of like this nonprofit thing, I worked with an HIV and AIDS organization. So I was a client advocate and a children's camp coordinator. Okay. And, HIV and AIDS was kind of the least of their worries. It was a lot around, financial worries and, where am I going to stay next and things like that. To be even just a small portion of the help that we could provide for them as a grassroots organization, it was just so incredibly humbling. And I just thought, this is what I need to be doing. I got my degree in psychology, and the thought process was that I was going to go kind of the counseling route. But this kind of led me on a different journey. And from that grassroots organization, we were a staff of 7 people. And I had 50 clients with 50 stories, but they all led to the good work that we got to do and provide for others. And the children's camp especially was really touching. I got to do that 2 years in a row. And to see these kids not have to worry about their diagnosis. They truly were there just to have fun. Yeah. And it was just a great thing. So when I moved to Wisconsin from Texas, it was a big change.
I was going to say, yeah.
A lot of, not just weather related, but just in general, it was a big change for me. But I knew that I wanted to continue that journey. And so I worked at Special Olympics, Minnesota for the state office for many years, then moved into the healthcare world and worked for 2 nonprofit organizations through the healthcare world. And so 27 years later, here I am at the Chamber office, and I love it. It's been a new transition into a different kind of nonprofit work. Sure. I've mostly been on the charitable side of nonprofit, and this is more on the business to business kind of side. Right. But it's so amazing to see what our businesses have to offer, what they provide for our community, and how much they truly care about River Falls. Yeah. Just to hear from them that has been my goal for the past year, is really just to hear from our businesses. What's working? What's not? How can we provide through the chamber efforts for your business? And really just making sure that we can be available to them.
Yeah.
I think that's such a big part of what the chamber world is, having that support system to the business to say, we are here to help you. We can't do the things for you necessarily,
right.
but we can certainly provide you that support, those resources, those connections to other businesses that are doing the work that you do, or maybe not. Maybe they need an outsourced referral of some kind. So even just providing that is really important to us. And so it is a different kind of nonprofit,
right.
but I love it because it still brings me back to that service piece of working with others, helping our community grow, and really making sure that River Falls has what we need in place to have a positive community that works together.
Yeah. I was curious if you now feel like a Wisconsinite after, I don't know how many years you've been here now, or is there still Texan in you, or how do you, I guess,
I used to refer to myself as a Texanite. That's hard to say, but I truly feel like a Wisconsinite now. I go home sometimes and my sisters make fun of me because I have that Wisconsin drawl now, I guess you could say. I don't hear it, but they hear it.
And in Texas more,
yeah. And then I still say y'all.
Okay.
I still,
I feel like y'all's become more widely, it's not quite a Southern term as much as it used to be.
For sure. I do enjoy being here. I love it here. I love having the 4 seasons, and I have 2 boys that enjoy being outside.
Sure.
So we're fishing, we're hunting, well, not me, but I like to fish. Not so much on the hunting, but they love it. Ice fishing, I do enjoy. And so we're very much outdoors and in the woods and hiking and things like that too.
Nice. Very cool. Well, you've been in this role a little over a year now. You were hired as the CEO of the Chamber last April. I'm curious, what excited you most about the opportunity to lead that organization?
Yeah, I think that connection to the community was really important for me. When I saw the role come up, I had been at Western Wisconsin Health for a little over 7 years. And in the foundation world, you're writing a lot of grants. You get to work with people here and there, but the focus of my role at the time was really focused on grant work. For about 2 years, we were doing a big expansion, and I was really honored to be part of that process. But when this opportunity came up, I thought, well, this is my chance to start connecting with people again, get away from the desk a little bit more, and really do some outreach, because I think that's so important for, from all aspects. And this was a great opportunity, and I just love it. It's been a great opportunity, not just to visit with our businesses, but our neighbors, our community, and provide for them, whether it's the festivals or professional development events or, different rise and learns, to hear from other people that have the expertise in those areas. I love every aspect of it. Yeah. It's been a really fun opportunity. And I get to work with a great team. Riley has been here for not quite 2 years, but she is our tourism and marketing manager. And she just brings so much energy, fresh ideas, intelligence. And I put it in, she's got a lot of panache. She's just very vibrant. And I love that about her. And she knows her stuff. She gets it done. She makes it beautiful. And I just can't tell you how grateful I am to have her as part of our team. Yeah. And then Colin is our events and member engagement manager. And he comes from a world of performance. He's brought that to the organization and truly understands what it means to have a run of show, to make sure that not only is this going to be a great offering for our community, but the bands too, the bands that come to our events, that they have what they need from water to the riders that we put together, and all those things that make an event good and successful. So he just knows it. He knows that world. And then as far as the member engagement piece, immediately was able to connect with businesses and really make sure that we had a good understanding of where these businesses are coming from, what they need. And so we'll continue to build that out and meet with businesses. And that's part of our mission, is really engaging with our businesses and members to make sure they understand that we want to be here for them and provide. So
yeah, you guys are a small team, but a mighty team. I mean, for
Yeah.
just a staff of 3, that you accomplished quite a bit. So that's impressive.
Thank
And you mentioned Western Wisconsin Health. You're now back in the
Mhm.
same building as Allison Page, the mayor, who you worked with at Western Wisconsin Health. So that's kind of a fun full circle thing too. A little bit.
It really has been. I'm excited for what she's going to bring to River Falls, and the fact that we've had the opportunity to work together in the past is just reassuring of all the great things that I know she's going to do for this community. And I know that I was telling you ahead of time, she always had that open door policy and open communication. She allowed us to, she took a chance on me coming into the foundation world way back in 2017. And I was able to thrive because of her encouragement and really building us up as employees. And so I know that she's going to do the same thing for our community and hear people out, build up those pieces that maybe we need to start building on. And I really am excited to see what happens in River Falls.
Sure.
So.
Well, let's dive into maybe the work that the Chamber does a little bit. Most people listening are probably familiar with the Chamber or some of the events that the Chamber puts together, River Falls Days and Bacon Bash and the Bluegrass Festival, all those different things. But can you maybe share at a high level overview of what the Chamber is, first of all, and then maybe what its goal here, which you touched on a little bit, but what the goal is of the Chamber here in River Falls?
Sure. So our true meaning, our deepest foundation is to make sure that we can connect, support, and advocate for our local businesses, really making sure that they have what they need and that we can build that economic development and really be a thriving River Falls. I know I've used that term a few times, but it truly is what we're all about. We want to make sure we're building up River Falls to be the best it can be. And there's so many people in this community that are doing that. And so our goal is truly to provide for our businesses and community through these efforts that we offer. And in turn, hopefully we're going to build out that economic vitality. And, there are going to be fewer storefronts that are, open, and regionally we will be known. Statewide, we will be known. In some cases, even across the nation. Our Bluegrass Festival brings in people from all over the state and all over the country. Yeah. We've had as far away as Washington and down to Florida and down into Texas even. So it's been kind of cool to see us. We had a physical map that people were able to pinpoint where they were from, and to see that kind of as a visible awareness of who we are and where people are coming from was really cool. Yeah. But we want to continue to build that out, and the Chamber is a big part of, just making sure that the businesses can be supported and have what they need for resources and connections to other people. So I feel like that's a big part of what we do. On the flip side of that, we also have the tourism piece. Right. And I know we're going to talk about that in a little bit too, but with the tourism, we are very grateful to receive room tax dollars. And as a nonprofit, as you know, that none of that money stays with us. Everything that we receive goes right back out. And so with that, we are able to provide support to community events as well. It's not just about our Experience River Falls tourism piece. We are providing sponsorships for the community art base. We're providing Kids in Wisconsin sponsorships and art on the Kinni and music in the park and things like that. Yeah. So, the hope is that we can continue to offer opportunities to provide sponsorships and support to all the community events that bring in tourism, festivals, and things like that. So we have great relationships with a lot of our partners, and are really grateful for that.
Well, on the relationship piece, that kind of leads into my next question. So the Chamber and the City of River Falls are two separate entities, although we do share the same building. You guys have an office here in City Hall where we're recording this. But I'm curious how you would describe that relationship between the Chamber and the city.
Yeah, it's definitely very important to us. It's incredibly important to us. The support that the city provides to us on an ongoing basis, everything from city festivals to professional development events, tourism initiatives. These things couldn't happen without the support and collaboration that we have with the city. We work regularly with our partners within the city across utilities and police and fire and administration.
Probably public works too.
Public works, everything that you see happen at a festival can't happen without that partnership that we have with the city. But it's more than that, we go for our meeting at the beginning of the year to request approval from city council. But beyond that, we see all of you every single day. And I'm really grateful for that, because I feel like that is just building up our partnerships and our relationships. We're getting to know one another and make sure that we can really do the best that we can for our city. And so the city and everything that City of River Falls does to partner with us and provide for the community, for the businesses, is incredibly impactful to all of us.
I think it's fun having you guys in the building too, and crossing paths and sharing different ideas or thoughts, and hearing what is going on with the chamber is always, at least for me, is always helpful. So
yes, definitely so. Definitely.
Well, on the Chamber of Commerce side, so as we kind of talked about, there's a Chamber of Commerce on the tourism side, but on the Chamber of Commerce part of it, what does it mean for a chamber member for local business, or to be a chamber member if you're a local business or organization?
Well, we hope that the chamber member businesses feel that our partnership is really grounded in integrity. That's such an important foundation, I feel, to any organization. But if they can trust what we're doing and trust in our conversations and what we're, helping with and things like that, that just builds up a good partnership. And if you have that foundation of trust, then it's just going to lead to bigger and better things. One thing that I mentioned earlier is just hearing people out, and that's such an important part of what we do as an organization. Is we want to hear from people, the good, the bad, and ugly. It's really important to understand where they're coming from and why they feel that way. And so I hope that our chamber members feel that they can come to us and they can truly be heard, supported, receive resources or connections that they need. And we're going to do what we can to showcase their business and make sure that they truly feel supported in those efforts. So in the big scheme of things, I feel like if we can do that, it's only going to lead to opportunities to build off of that community piece. And, as much as we are a business organization, it takes the community to support those businesses to then in turn have us support them as well. So it's a win-win-win.
I'm putting you on the spot here a little bit, but do you know how many members you have currently?
Currently, we have about 320 members,
wow. Okay.
And we continue to have ribbon cuttings and build up more memberships. I've got one sitting in my inbox right now that I need to reach out to. But we really do want to encourage more businesses to be part of this effort. It's only going to, provide more opportunity to connect, and I think that's so important. Yeah,
very cool. We've talked a little bit, and I mentioned the River Falls Days that we're coming up on here, and this episode will air just a little bit before River Falls Days takes place. It's probably the biggest, I would imagine, the biggest event that the Chamber hosts every year. Take us behind the scenes a little bit. What's it like to plan an event of that scale, especially as we talk about just a team of three of you, but how far in advance are you planning, and just take us through kind of everything that goes into getting things ready for River Falls Days.
Sure. It's an undertaking, and it's not just the three of us.
Sure.
It truly is. I mean, we're supported by our board, which is an incredible group of individuals that come together every month, and our exec board comes together and we talk through, what can we do better? What support do we need from the board and those kinds of things. So it's a lot of conversation, but then beyond that, we have committees. The River Falls Days Committee is made up of a lot of individuals that have been doing this event for a long time, and we can't do it without them. And so whether it's a day of volunteer or the ongoing committee members or the board members, we're all coming together to have that conversation and talk through, okay, what worked really well and what were the missteps? What do we need to do differently for this next year? So that's been conversations. Those have been conversations that have been happening since last River Falls Days.
Sure. No sleep after you just go into the next
truly.
one, right?
And that's one thing I really want to mention is that's one of our internal goals is we want to be ahead of the game. We want to make sure that we're planning for next year already. I mean, goodness, Colin already has like 12 bands that are not totally confirmed, but that he's working through confirmations with for bluegrass. I mean, we really want to make sure we're staying on track with budget. We're getting ahead of the game with talking to bands or individuals. One goal that I had for myself was we don't just, reserve for the tents for one festival. Let's go ahead and just do it for both festivals. That makes sense. Yeah. And it just makes for a better partnership with them so that they can plan ahead. And so if we can do these things more thoughtfully, it's going to provide for a better experience for our community and our businesses. So for River Falls Days specifically, it's a lot of planning. We've got Heritage Park where a lot of the bands and the food vendors, the ticket sales happen. And then we'll also have City Plaza where we've got kids activities going on and some additional events around inflatables and things like that. So we are looking to do more kids activities and provide opportunities. We're also working through initial conversations with the business leader group. They have expressed interest in 2027 being a partner for the kids' activities. So nice. I think that's going to be an amazing partnership that's only going to provide more for community. Yeah. And so as we build out these relationships, that's the only way to do it. We have to be able to have relationships and partnerships with other individuals and groups because we're all working towards the same goal to provide for each other and our community. So it's a lot of planning, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah. And, I think the name of the game is really just getting ahead of the curve and making sure that we can continue to have conversation. And this team I want to give a lot of kudos to the team because yes, it takes a village, but you still have to have those people in place that kind of help that village along. Sure. And Riley and Colin do an incredible job. They work really hard every single day. And I want to make sure that I give them credit where credit is due. So I'm very grateful for our team.
It's Christmas in July is the theme this year. Are you excited about that one, I'm guessing?
Yeah, we've got some fun activities planned. I'm going to guess that we're going to have lots of Santas in Hawaiian attire.
And full outfit if it's going to be hot that day. But
exactly. But we're working through some different activities within the festival. And, of course, decorations and things like that too. It'll be a fun theme. And, one thing that we really want to try and strive for more is branding ourselves with River Falls Days, with Bluegrass Festival and things like that. Sometimes a theme may take away a little bit from the event itself. So we're kind of having conversations. What does that look like? Do we keep having these themes or do we really make it River Falls Days?
Sure.
And not that there's good and bad with everything, but I think that's one thing that we really want to strive for is to make sure that these events feel like what they're supposed to. And so we'll continue to have conversations, but for this year in particular, yes, it is Christmas in July. We are excited about it and it'll be a fun theme. And if I could have more time available, maybe we would even encourage a Santa run, but we can't. We did the Santa Fun Run at River Dazzle. We'll continue to do that. but it'll be a fun parade to be part of.
Our team is excited and coming up with some ideas for what we'll do in the parade and everything. So I think it'll be a fun one. I'm curious from your vantage point as the CEO of the Chamber, when you are talking to people who aren't from River Falls or maybe don't even know much about River Falls, what is kind of your sales pitch as to why they should visit?
So I don't want to think of it as a sales pitch necessarily because I really, from what I've gathered over the last year, I've always been in the St. Croix County area. I live in town of Hudson, so I'm not too far away.
Sure.
But across the different communities that I've gotten to work in and be in, I truly believe that River Falls, there's something unique about River Falls. And as I mentioned, everybody cares deeply. They're very passionate and compassionate about what they do, what they offer, just all the things that happen. So I feel like it's not necessarily a sales pitch as it is, this is who we are. This is truly who we are as a community. And it's just a really amazing thing to see that people care so deeply. So I would say that, as much as we have a lot of fun activities throughout the entire year, but it's those people that bring it together and provide those opportunities. I mean, Charlie Parr last Thursday was incredible.
Yeah,
it was raining cats and dogs during the day, and we didn't even know, and we were a sponsor, yes, but the people that put that together, the community arts-based group and all the people on that committee that bring Charlie Parr here, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And so I would say that, yes, we have the reasons why people should visit River Falls. It's around the beauty of the Kinni with so many outdoors activities. It's the music every weekend and practically every weeknight that we have.
Town,
we have a great music town. But along with that, the retail, we're kind of known for our secondhand thrift shopping and things like that. But the bars and restaurants that offer so many opportunities to gather people together and have good meals and things like that. The incredible nonprofits that are around our area, our neighbor's place, and just so many wonderful nonprofits. The River Falls Food Pantry and things like that. Candace does amazing work there. And so the collegiate scene, our collegiate scene is huge. We had a record-breaking year, I think, of championships last year or this past year. So UWRF, CVTC, they do incredible work. Our River Falls School District is incredible. So many reasons to come and visit, but then a lot of great reasons to come and stay. And that's part of our goal too, is, just as people come through this door to get information on tourism, we have just as many people asking, do you know a realtor? Do you have information on new housing and things like that? So as much as it is for tourism, we're also getting a lot of questions about people staying and wanting to come from the cities or from corporate world to a more relaxed way of living. And so that's exciting to see too. We really are happy to be part of that.
Yeah. And that might be partially the answer to my next question for you. Was I'm curious how you measure the success of various tourism efforts, whether it's actual tangible data or just kind of anecdotal. What constitutes successful efforts in that, or what when you hear this, that means it's a success. How do you measure that?
Well, of course, we've got the reportables. We want to know the overnight stays that are happening at our hotels. That's very important for driving room tax dollars in tourism and things like that. But along with that, we are trying to get more data-driven information around our events. And so we have partners that we've worked with to try and get some information on, where people are coming from. And it's all based on like a cell phone, usage and those kinds of things. But we have partners in place that have helped us with some of that data, which is wonderful. But additionally, we can literally see tourism happening in our backyard. And whether it be through fewer open retail spots, which I mentioned, or more celebrations for state and regional championships, the ribbon cuttings for new businesses, busier weeknights, that's important to us, busier weekends. It all leads to increased tourism and economic impact, and that's a really exciting thing to be part of.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Travel Wisconsin also is a great partner. We receive information from them regularly, and just last week they put out information from 2025 on the numbers for last year. And so there was like a $27 billion total economic impact across the state. So that's up about 4.5% from 2024. And so from across the statewide efforts, there are more job opportunities and visits and room tax dollars, which is great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, last question, and this is one that everyone on the podcast gets asked, is what impact do you hope your work will have on the people of River Falls, Rosa?
Well, we hope that the work the Chamber does provides opportunity for people of River Falls to come together. We want them to learn about and utilize the businesses and the great offerings that we have across the community. We want them to partake in volunteerism, advocacy, like true investment in River Falls. I think that's such an important part of being a community member. And I mentioned I'm from town of Hudson, but I truly feel integrated into this and invested into this community now because of the work that I see people doing every day. And so when I go walk into Foxton or Waystone or Mimi's Coffee or Cookies or wherever I may go, I did mention lots of food and books too, but when I go into these places, you see the amazing work that they do. And I think that's important for our community to see as well. And so when they are walking into that Main Street business or a Second Street business or down the road at Westwind or wherever they may be going, or Patak's on the other side, wherever they may be going, that they're making an impact. They're providing that business with an opportunity to share what they have, but they're also providing that economic support and helping that business stay here. And that's really, really important to our community.
Absolutely. Well, that's all I have for you, Rosa. We'll let you off the hook with that, but I appreciate you sharing some insights on the chamber and all the work that you and your team do. It's been great partnering with the three of you since I've been here, and looking forward to more collaboration and River Falls Days coming
Absolutely.
up quick here.
Thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely. And if anyone is interested in learning more about the chamber, rfchamber.com is the website. If you're in town here, you can stop into City Hall. They're on the lower level as well. They're happy to chat with you then. But yeah, thanks again, Rosa.
And experience.riverfalls.com for tourism.
There we go. All right, I should have plugged that one too. So we got them both.
Thank you so much.
Well, again, that was Rosa Magnus, the CEO of the River Falls Chamber of Commerce and Tourism Bureau, on today's episode of the Kinni Cast. If you don't already subscribe to the podcast, be sure to hit the subscribe button or leave a review if you're enjoying it. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or at rfcity.org. Until next time, have a great day, River Falls.